Hey everyone, so this is just going to be a quick intro and overview of the Game Engine RPG in a Box. As the name suggests, it's an all-in-one solution for creating RPGs, including making the models, animating the models. You can do that all within the engine, which is something I am a big fan of. I've always said that every time you give a developer a reason to close out of your engine, you give them a reason to never come back. So I really like the fact that they have editors right in the engine. I will say this though, and that this is specifically voxel based. So it's not just RPGs, it's voxel RPGs. So you kind of have a niche within a genre. So that might be a deal breaker for some. That's your choice. But I did want to let you know that this is out there and do a quick overview. And depending on the response, I can do additional tutorials. So we're just going to click on create a new game. We're going to call it something like try again, because I keep trying to record this and I keep making a lot of mistakes. You need a game path, so we can go to browse, and this is just on my desktop, and we'll click on create folder, and we'll call this try again folder. We'll select the current folder, and now you have several templates. This is one thing that I've never liked about Unity, and that their default templates are more of just, this might change over time, of course, but at the time of the recording, they're more just kind of visual showcases. Having really good functional templates, I've never seen much of that. However, again, I might not be looking in the right places. Maybe there's a new updater, but I really like the approach that they took, because this is, I think, the right balance of functionality. Because if you make something too complex, people can't use it. So you wanted the right complexity for something that can be utilized. So we're going to choose default game example, and then we're going to click OK. And before we do anything, we're just going to do a quick play. So up here, you can see it says quick play. You can see that's the name I chose. We're going to do new game. Got a loading screen. You got text messages, so dialog boxes. If you point at someone, you can see that there's a little dialog box. You can talk to them. Ladders can be climbed up, so like if I click on that, you can climb up. And we will come over here, we'll break the box. And then we'll switch to the hammer like it said. And I'm just going to show you that this does indeed have at least what other engines would call scene loads, where you can load in a different scene. So we'll just break the rock. And then we'll come over here, and you can see that there's a functionality letting you know that you can walk down the stairs. And it loads another scene. So let's go ahead and click on escape. You can see there's save game functionality. So like I said, it's a great template. It has a lot of the basics built in. We'll do quit, we'll do yes. So working with the project itself, as you can see along the top, you have the voxel editor. So that's where you're creating the individual models. You have the map editor. As you can see, it's showing you which maps there are. There's the overworld and the dungeon. We just looked at both of those. There's a script editor, dialogue editors, UI editors. So we're not going to get into all these, but you can see pretty much across the top, you get to the different, getting into like a different state or a different mode. So that's a little bit different than what, say, Unity takes, where it's kind of all in one. The only time that you really have a separate script editor is if you're opening up a script object, and then at that point you're in Studio, or you're in MonoDevelop, whatever, and then you're doing text editing there. So here it's more integrated. But anyways, these are pretty self-explanatory. You can see maps. And sure enough, here's Overworld. So let's go ahead and double click on that and open that up. And again, this is just a quick overview. This is just a quick intro. I'm not going to go into all the details. This is just to let you know what you're getting. And so you can see things like these green lines and the dots. This lets you know that this is navigation. And you can see that you can climb the ladder and things like that. But as you can see over here, if you click on this, so this is placement. So this would place something. So for instance, if I wanted to increase the world, I could do that. I'll show you that in just a minute. But I do want to show you this functionality. So if we click on edit, and then we click on this, okay, so we're clicking on the entity there. And then over here, you can see entity properties. I guess you could equate this to, say, the inspector of Unity. So if you've used Unity, when you click on an object, you have that panel called the inspector. We can look at the individual components. And you can see things like interaction cursor. Remember how we pointed it? The little stairs appeared? Well, you can select that here. as far as scripts, if you double click on that, it says play sound, stairs, and then load map dungeon. So that's how you do it. It's that simple. You're just saying load the name of the dungeon. And this, I believe, are world coordinates. So I believe that's telling, I think that's where it places you in the dungeon. So you have to, it looks like that you have to say where in the map you would spawn. Because I believe, generally speaking, in a game in Unity, it's been a while since I've done anything new in Unity, but I think you basically spawn where you have the controllable character, but then you have the camera, and so it's kind of a combination of both, like where is the camera point of view and where is the movable character present. So that tends to be how that works. But anyways, so as you can see, it's really easy, and you just have like an edit button here, and you could actually edit this. So say I wanted to go to a different location, I could change that. So again, this is just meant to be a quick overview, but like I said, if you're familiar with Unity, then this shouldn't look that dissimilar. Now, true, it doesn't have the individual components per se, but it does indeed have all these top level things that you would need. Okay, so as far as adding new things, so we would click back on Map Tools, we click on Place, and then what you can do is this. So say there's this path over here. So let's add a bridge. As you can see, it shows what's going to appear. Now that's the wrong rotation. So let's right click, and now it's rotated. And then we'll do it again here. And then we will put, say, a path here. So we're just going to scroll down, and we've got a path. So let's go ahead and rotate that. So right clicking, by the way, I'm right clicking, rotating. And it does look like there's a pink arrow indicating the direction that it's facing. In other words, what's the top of the like the front, I guess you would say, of the object. I'll have to do a little more research, but I'm pretty sure that's what that's telling you. And then let's just do a path fork, and let's rotate that. And then let's do a regular path there. And let's see if I wonder if we should rotate that. That's a good point. I wonder, I'll have to find out more of that. Again, like I said, this is just meant to be an overview, but I'll take a look to see if it matters. I presume it does, maybe for pathing or something. And then for water, we'll just click in some water here. Now, as you can see, it's not doing automatic pathing for the water, so we'll can always look at that in another tutorial. And then we'll just fill in more grass. So put grass there, and we'll do water. Let's see, let's just do regular water. My guess is that you probably should do shore, maybe, rather than the regular water like I chose. Like the water is probably for the middle. So what we'll do is we'll click on the edit tool, and then we just delete. That easy. So you're changing from place to edit, and then we'll go back to place, go back to shore. I think the reason why you'd want to do that is because if you don't do that, there would be a gap here. So that means I'd probably want to do the same thing on this side. So like I'd want to click on edit, and then I would want to do shore, but in this case, I want to rotate it. So even that, there may be a shore that has another side to it. We'd have to take a look. Like water corner, that might be the better choice, but that's okay. Like I said, this is just meant to be an overview. And so what you're going to see is that the pathing is already here. It's already built in. So my character will be able to walk in that new area. Whereas with something like Unity, you would probably use a nav mesh, and then you have to you would have to recalculate the nav mesh. You would delete and then recalculate, if I recall correctly. Again, I've kind of taken a hiatus from Unity for a couple months, so so that gives us a warning that we didn't save it. So we'll hit cancel, and up here is save, and then we'll do a quick play. And then I think this will just be about it because, like I said, this is just meant to be an intro and an overview to let you know that this is out. One of the reasons why I'm doing this right now is it's currently on sale on the Epic Game Store for free. So you can get this game permanently for free if you get it within the next few days. And as you can see, you can just walk around the new era, so no need to recreate the nav mesh. Now, as far as the nav mesh for the boat, because that's what the other line side pointed out, that we'd have to look at, but there is a separate tool specifically for creating navigation. So you can see we also have HP and a health bar, so it's really fully functional. So I think that's about it for now. So like I said, I'm pretty impressed with what I've got here. The limitation, if you see it as a limitation, is the fact that it is voxel. So some people may not like voxel. I know it's very popular, in games like Minecraft. So again, it's kind of a niche within a genre, voxel within RPG. But if this is definitely something you want to see, please leave a like, leave a comment if there's a specific topic you're having trouble with. I only just started using this myself, so I'm not an expert, but I've been for the last couple of days looking at this, going through the navigation, figuring out how to do things, and it does look pretty straightforward. So I think one of the key things that I like is it looks like this functionality built into some of the objects is already a script. If not, then it's easy enough to add your own script, as I showed you when you went to the entity properties, like when we went to. So we'll click on that. You got entity properties, and it again gives you whatever is going on that. So now this one doesn't have a script. You can see it says none, and I just clicked on like a random tile. Okay, so I think that's about it. So that's a basic overview of the UI. That certainly is not everything, but it gets your feet wet, it gives you an idea, and you can see how quickly you could start with something that already exists and then just begin to build on top of that. So, okay, so if you found this interesting, again, do the like if you so choose. And that's about it. So please do enjoy the rest of your day.